there, this is Dr. with 3 years of wrestling, being the Just Same Time portion for tonight I'm reviewing AEW Dynamite Fyter Fest Night 3. Oh wow, what a show tonight. So much happened. And it was honestly overall a really good show. Well, at least I thought so. But before we get started with this review, I wanted to show everybody something. So you guys know I have the Megazord right there. And now I have this really cool and adorable Dragon Zord plushie. How more phenomenal is this? I have the Megazord and the Dragon Zord. Alrighty, so the tonight's show kicked off with Brody King versus Darby Allin. And I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of Brody King, especially like when his main event match against Jon Moxley, I felt was just a regular match. I actually enjoyed this match. I think AEW did a fantastic job at making Brody King look really strong and dominant because he was tossing Darby Allin around like a rag doll. That's for sure. That's way too epic, right? Imagine the Megazord and the Dragon Zord combined. They combine. I know that doesn't actually happen, but like, just imagine. So like I was saying, so Brody King in this match was dominating Darby Allin, which I thought was a good call on AEW side. The one thing I would say was when Brody King bounced off that exposed turnbuckle. Oh, that looked nasty. But then he hit Darby Allin with the Gonzo bomb to pick up the victory. So I think that was a good call because, like, for me, if Brody King would have lost this, it's like you made him look extremely dominant, and then you're gonna have him lose. I just felt like it was the right call for Brody King to win this match. But let's talk about what happens afterwards. So like just like in the Royal Rampage Battle Royal, Brody King basically put Darby Allin in that sleeper and he drew out Sting. And then the lights went out and I was kind of like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like, is somebody new debuting? Like what is going to happen? And what ended up happening was Malachi Black came out and he had a stare down or face down with Sting. And Brody King ended up putting Sting in the sleeper, and Malachi Black was sprued the black mist to Sting. So it's very interesting that they did that. So I honestly wouldn't mind Sting turning heel and aligning himself with the House of Black or the Kings of the Black Throne, especially because we don't know what happened to Buddy Matthews. We haven't seen him in a while, so I don't know. So I honestly wouldn't mind adding Sting to that faction. But then Miro, the Redeemer, comes out, and like he has in those sunglasses. He's wearing his sunglasses at night. Oh my god, that's what I thought of when I heard when I saw Miro with those sunglasses. And he basically has like a stare down with Malachi Black. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that feud, Malachi Black versus the Redeemer Miro. I think that's going to be a really good match. But before we move on to the next segment, let's talk about The Rock appearing in picture during this match promoting Shark Week. I think that would be the closest we will ever get to having The Rock being on AEW. Miro swag equals over 9,000. Darby got destroyed. Yeah, he did big time. Extremely big time. He got destroyed. He got destroyed, decimated, and dominated. The 3Ds. All right. So then we get a quick backstage segment with Colt Carter. He's basically like saying before he even gets like a chance to really finish what he was saying, Ricky Starks interrupts him and says that Carter was sleeping with the fishes and now swimming with the sharks. And Ricky Starks says he's been FTW champion for over a year. Really? It's been a year? Oh yeah, it has. Ever since he took the title off of Brian Cage. And then Colt Carter says the future will look like his past when he gets beat. Surprised AEW wasn't sponsored by Mountain Dew. That's because AEW was like promoting Shark Week. By the way, I really like the fact that everybody had that little Shark Week thing, like that little Shark Week hat. I thought that was really, really cool. Speaking of Shark Week, I saw a blimp today when I got out of work. This was like promoting Shark Week. It was in the shape of a shark, which I thought was really, really cool. So then we had Best Friends versus Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley. I think commentary said this was the first time Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley had teamed together on a 2-on-2 match. So one of the things I really liked about this was like that Trent Beretta at the very beginning was very hesitant to attack Wheeler Yuta, because if you guys recall, like Wheeler Yuta was like their friend. He was a part of Best Friends until he, I guess you can say, stab him in the back and join Blackpool Combat Club. So I really, really like that element that they added, like that hesitation on Trent's part. But like Chuck Taylor didn't care. He went after Yuta. And it's funny how like afterwards, like Trent didn't care anymore. Like he went after Wheeler Yuta. I really like those back and forth elbow strikes between them. And at one point, like Chuck Taylor even had to pull Trent off Wheeler Yuta, and like Trent elbowed his own partner and knocked him down for doing that. But good match. Good match. It was with all of them. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like Best Friends just was not over Wheeler Yuta leaving them and joining Blackpool Combat Club, because I felt like they were being viciously attacking Wheeler Yuta. I mean, do you guys think that's rightfully deserved? Does Wheeler Yuta deserve to get attacked like that by Best Friends for leaving them? And then, like, my one spot that I really, really liked in this match was when Jon Moxley put Trent in the figure 4 on the outside, where Wheeler Yuta had Chuck Taylor in the middle of the ring. And Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley were victorious in this bout. So that was a really good match overall, if you ask me. Wheeler Yuta is going to retain this title. I definitely think he's going to retain against Daniel Garcia. And then the funny part is we got Chompy the Mascot, which was like a shark, because it's Shark Week. They're promoting Shark Week. And he was like hung out on commentary. Now I thought this was going to lead to an angle. I kind of thought, okay, who's under that shark suit? But it didn't really happen throughout the night. But he was just there that one time, then disappeared for the rest of the night. Okay, then we had the Swerve in Our Glory Championship celebration. All right, so you guys know that celebrations, weddings, and contract signings in wrestling never end well. That just looks stupid with the costume shark. Yeah, I know they did it for Shark Week, and they did it because Warner Media wanted them to do it. You can't, you got to do what the people who put you on TV want you to do. So they were saying, so all those things usually don't end well, and this was no exception. I really like the fact that Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland were matching. They were both wearing black and red, except that Keith Lee had white shoes on. And there's "You Deserve It" chants, which they really did deserve it. Swerve Strickland saying he's a hip-hop mogul, with Kevin Gates being in attendance. And Keith Lee basically thanking all of us, internally thanking all of us. and he wanted to give a toast to their title reign being limitless, but of course, like I said, this championship celebration was got interrupted by none other than Smart Mark Sterling and Tony Nese. So they approached Kevin Gates wanting to sign the petition. It's the people against Swerve Strickland. Like, Smart Sterling is determined to get Swerve Strickland out of AEW. So Kevin Gates, and I thought this was really cool, like, he comes out after Smart Mark tells him that he's untrustworthy and his music sucks. And he attempts to attack Smart Mark Sterling, but instead he ends up sucker punching Tony Nese. This segment was awful. Mark Sterling is just channel changing garbage, and Tony Nese deserves better. I guess, yeah, you can make that argument. You really can. And then it ends with Swerve Strickland caking Smart Mark Sterling, which I thought was pretty funny. But like Michael 101591 said, he thought the segment was awful, and this segment might not be for everybody. People might think that this was like I don't want to say WWE like segment with that whole cake thing, but hey, who knows? Like, some people, you like what you like, and you dislike what you dislike. Next, we had the Varsity Blondes versus Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. This was a short match, and Christian acting like the evil Green Ranger, summoning the Dragon Zord with that Dragon Dagger. Oh, if he came out with the Dragon Dagger, it would be really cool. Controlling Luchasaurus, basically calling the shots and telling him what to do. He chokeslammed the Varsity Blondes onto each other, and then Christian Cage tagged himself in and got the pin. So Christian Cage and Luchasaurus won. Then afterwards, Jungle Boy comes back, and he came back to a loud pop. So which just shows you how over Jungle Boy is. Now, he came with the steel chair, and Luchasaurus got in his face and then stepped to the side, and he chased Christian Cage. Now, I'm 50-50 on this. Actually, because on one hand, it's good that, indeed the question, was Luchasaurus just faking his alliance with Christian Cage, or did he was under Christian Cage's influence and then broke free because he saw Jungle Boy? I personally would have preferred if if Luchasaurus stayed aligned with Christian Cage and attacked Jungle Boy instead of allowing him to go through. Now, technically, now this is just me speculating, okay? You don't have, again, pure speculation. I think maybe what AEW is going to try to do is actually have that angle happen, because technically Luchasaurus just turned heel after Jungle Boy was injured. We didn't get to see him attack Jungle Boy. I hope they go down that route. Let me see. It made no sense to have Luchasaurus turn heel after Jungle Boy and now it's back, unless Luchasaurus swerves Jungle Boy. Maybe that could be a possibility. He could be playing Jungle Boy and leading him to think that he's on his side, but in reality he's still working for Christian Cage. Like I said, I really like heel Luchasaurus and his pairing with Christian Cage, and it would suck if they just complete 180 that and have Luchasaurus realign himself with Jungle Boy. I mean, it's there. You have Luchasaurus not only being told what to do by Christian Cage, but he was using the snare trap, Jungle Boy's finisher, as his finisher, and using that to end his matches. So I would not be happy if Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy get back together and they act like nothing happens, unless Michael 101591 says he's just playing Jungle Boy. So we have to wait and see what the outcome of this is going to be. All right, so now we had the Gunn Club segment backstage. Austin Gunn challenging Max Caster to a rap battle on Rampage. So I'm actually looking forward to that. When I heard rap battle, I immediately thought, has anybody seen Scary Movie 3? Oh my god, the character of George, how he's a rapper. I started thinking of that. He'd be rapping, he'd be tapping, he'd be happening. Should, would, could. Oh my god, that was so hilarious. And I just thought of that when I heard a rap battle. Has anybody seen Scary Movie 3 and know what I'm talking about? Or you're just like, what? What am I talking about? Am I just babbling incoherently? So I'm really looking forward to that rap battle. I think Max Caster, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Max Caster has that in the bag. So next we have the FTW Championship Open Challenge. It's Ricky Starks versus Colt Carter. And this was a decent match. But Ricky Starks winning with the spear to Colt. And let me see. Scary Movie 3. What? Only the first two exist. I actually like Scary Movie 3 the best out of the first three. That's just me though. I think Scary Movie 3 is the best one out of the first three. All right, so Ricky Starks basically saying that he came out on top and still has a lot left in the tank and wants another challenge. So guess who comes out? None other than Danhausen, and he accepts the challenge. But of course, Ricky Starks, being a typical heel, tries to deviate and make it for next week. Wouldn't it be something? And I thought they were gonna do this. I thought Danhausen was gonna accept, but he was gonna bring out Hook. So wouldn't it be something if next week, instead of being Danhausen versus Ricky Starks, is Hook versus Ricky Starks? I would like that. Hook versus Ricky Starks, and have Hook win the FTW champ title. Cole signs to AEW and he gets jobbed on his first night. I think it's going to set up Hook versus Starks. Okay, yeah, I definitely see that. So maybe have Danhausen lose to Ricky Starks and then have Hook come out afterwards once Ricky Starks makes another open challenge. I could definitely see that route. I could definitely see them doing that, honestly. And honestly, when they do Hook versus Ricky Starks, I think Hook is going to take it. I think because Taz created that. That's Team Taz, and Hook is Taz's son, so it would make perfect sense for his son to hold the title that he created. All right. So next we get an FTR segment, who basically, like, Cash comes out. Like, the crowd was really into FTR. Like, FTR is just over. And Cash Wheeler basically acknowledges that and says he hasn't gotten used to that kind of crowd reaction. And he said that 2022 has been a decent year for FTR. They've had big moments, big matches, and no match or moment was bigger than their match against the Briscoes at Super Court of Honor. If you have not seen that match, I highly recommend you see that match before you watch Death Before Dishonor on Saturday. It was an incredible match. Amazing. Probably one of the best tag team matches of the year, if not the tag team match of the year. So, FTR versus Briscoes 2. He said, Cash goes on to say that they respect everything the Briscoes have done in wrestling. And then Dax starts talking about how his daughter had a hole in her heart and how she fought and worked hard to make sure she was stayed healthy. And then he says that if his daughter fought hard, then he needs to fight hard too. I can't wait to see FTR versus the Briscoes too. Oh yeah, and it's gonna be a false count, a best 2 out of 3 fall. A 2 out of 3 falls match. That's going to be an incredible match. All that back and forth, I could just picture it now. We're going to be on the edge of our seats with that back and forth. My money's on FTR anytime. Of course, I think FTR is going to win. So, like, in regards to FTR, I know they're on their quest to gain the AEW titles, but, like, what if FTR, like, because there's comparison, you guys know there's comparisons of FTR to Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. Like, so wouldn't it make sense if they go to the NWA and challenge for the NWA tag titles? Hell, they can even go to Impact and challenge for the Impact titles. Then they'll have all the belts, like, across every major promotion in the United States. I think that would be pretty cool, but it's really up to what FTR wants to decide to do. They've already been AEW tag champions. Why not go for the NWA? It would make total sense if you ask me. Especially, I mean, it's too bad they're no longer with Tully Blanchard, because I feel like if they were still with Tully Blanchard, it would have made even much more sense. Then we get a quick Jay Lethal segment backstage. And Sanjay Dunn says that he doesn't care about Christopher Daniels and that Samoa Joe doesn't even show up for work. And Christopher Daniels actually comes backstage and says that Samoa Joe isn't going to come and waste his time against Jay Lethal. So on Rampage, you're going to have Jay Lethal versus Christopher Daniels. It's probably going to be a great, incredible match if you ask me. All right, so then we get the Athena and Willow versus Kiira Hogan and Jade Cargill. But before the match starts, Stokely Hathaway saying that they have bad news, that Leda Gray was unable to compete and that Chris Statlander is banned from ringside. So, I didn't hear anything, or I don't know why Layla Gray was unable to compete. I don't know if it's like just storyline wise, or if like she got like hurt or something. I don't know. So let's see. That's what I want to see. Then when the NWA tag titles, but first they need to bring back the 80s style NWA tag belts. Then it would be perfect for FTR to win those. Oh, cool. So yeah, like I said, I don't know why Layla Gray couldn't compete. I haven't heard anything. Anybody know? Would like to fill me in why it went from being a trios match to regular tag match. But anywho, like I really like the fact that at the beginning, like Jade Cargill ducked Athena. Like she did not want anything to do with Athena. She didn't. And so she tagged Kiira Hogan in. And I'm really happy to finally see like Kiira Hogan getting more spotlight. I mean, I know when she made the transition from Impact to AEW, she was just stuck on Dark and Elevation. So I'm really glad she's in this faction with Jade Cargill. It was supposed to be Chris Statlander in the match, but she got pulled because Leda Gray got injured. Also, she did get injured. Okay. So of course, Jade Cargill with the kick to the spine of Athena, but then Athena turning around and attacking Jade. So, after a little while, we got the moment we were all waiting for. Jade Cargill and Athena finally meet in this match, and we got a taste of a one-on-one match between the two ladies. I like how both ladies were hitting each other, were trying to hit each other, and both of their moves missed. Like, seriously. And then they stared each other down, like, after that. Like, they were staring at each other. But, like, Jade Cargill was still showing off her strength. She caught Athena with the faraway slam. And then, like, on the outside, Athena gave Keira Hogan powerbomb on the ring apron. Oh, so, like, Stokely Hathaway got in Athena's face, and it caused her to get distracted, which allowed Jade to send Athena crashing into the steel steps, and she hit the back of her head, so I hope she's okay. And then, of course, Jade Cargill hitting Jaded on Willow and allowing her and Keira Hogan to be victorious. So, like, to wind back up a little bit, like, at the beginning of that promo, like, that Jade says that she's gonna show how she is that bitch and how she's always been that bitch, and she's being accompanied by Jermaine Dupri. Like, Jade Cargill, I have to say, has come a long, long, long way. Like, she went from fighting jobbers and having quick, short squash matches to actually having full length matches, and you can tell she carries herself as a star. And this tag match was just a preview of her eventual one-on-one match with Athena, which I cannot wait. And it begs the question, who is worthy of taking that title off Jade, Athena or Kris Statlander? I guess you're gonna have to wait and see, but I really, really like that AEW did that tease with Athena and the hesitation from Jade at the beginning. I cannot wait for those ladies to meet one-on-one. And then in our main event, it's the barbed wire everywhere death match. Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho. Athena's taking that title off Cargill. Yeah, I definitely can see that happening. If not Athena and Kris Statlander, then I don't know who. I'm out of options. So, Ruby Soho was the keeper of the keys of the shark cage. And one interesting that I noticed, I actually pointed out was, like, where was Sammy Guevara? He was not locked in that cage, so I kind of knew something was up when that was going to happen. So, like, I love the fact that Chris Jericho came out with the mask and a barbed wire bat. And then freaking Eddie Kingston, like, comes out. I didn't even notice the microphone had barbed wire. He just, like, snatches that microphone from Justin Roberts. And then you freaking whacked Chris Jericho with it. Just straight out whacked him. And he busted him open, like, right in the start of the match. They weren't kidding when it was a barbed wire everywhere match. There was barbed wire everywhere. Chris Jericho went face first onto a table. Eddie Kingston at one point tossing Chris Jericho into the ring ropes, which had barbed wire on it. How you didn't know the Mick had barbed wire? Justin Roberts announced the match. I didn't see it really quickly, like, because I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention to the start. Oh my god. I think the really cool spot was when Eddie Kingston superplexed Chris Jericho through a barbed wire table. I was like, holy, and he got stuck, but he was all, like, busted open, like, his whole face was covered in blood. And then Ty Conti attacked Ruby Soho, and you see Anna Jay. She came down, and you at first you think she's down there to help Ruby, and Ty cringy. I knew she was going to come out. Yeah, me too. I kind of thought she was, especially when I said that Sammy Guevara was not in that cage. So you think she's out there to help Ruby, but if you guys recall last week, Ty Conti said that Anna Jay needs to reevaluate her choices. And so she actually ends up attacking poor Ruby Soho and aligns herself with Ty Conti. Now, Anna Jay lowered the cage, and I don't know if this was a botch on Ty Conti's part or something, but she really struggled to get the Jericho Appreciation Society out of that cage. She really did. So again, I don't know if that was a botch on her part, maybe the keys just malfunctioned, but it's funny because they all squeezed through that little opening of the cage, but so I felt like that was a good backup plan to have that little opening just in case if they needed to, and they did need to. As you can saw, that cage did not open. Of course, this becomes Jericho's Appreciation Society has the advantage over Eddie Kingston, and then backup comes out for Eddie Kingston. And just as I suspected, Sammy Guevara comes out, super kicks Eddie Kingston, saving Chris Jericho. And Sammy Guevara holds Eddie Kingston, and I thought that was it. I was like, oh my god, Chris Jericho's about to is gonna try to hit Eddie Kingston, and then Eddie Kingston's gonna move and accidentally hit Sammy Guevara. But he did escape. But Jericho still ended up hitting Eddie Kingston, and it allowed Chris Jericho to win this match. And at the end, Eddie Kingston tossing Chris Jericho into the barbed wire spider web. So overall, I did like the barbed wire everywhere match. I thought it was good, but I disagree with the best part. The best part of the barbed wire match, the ring didn't explode. Oh my god, I remember that. Oh my god, AEW got a lot of flack for that. They really did. Michael 10159, I give it 8 out of 10. And like I said, okay, I really like the main event, but I disagree with the finish. I really did. I felt like Eddie Kingston needed this win. And if this feud is going to progress, I don't know what more they're going to do with Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. I felt like this was the big match, the big blow-off match, and Eddie Kingston should have won and permanently ending this feud with Chris Jericho. Where was the explosions? The ring should have exploded. Wow. Maybe, yeah, probably. But overall, I thought it was a solid show. I feel like I felt like it was a really solid show, but I disagree with the finish. Had Kingston won, I would have given a Ty Dillinger a perfect 10, but because he didn't, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I will say, I really like the pacing of tonight's show. They told you what match was next. And one of the things that I like that they do is that before the match starts, they have a backstage segment and then the match starts. And then I hate to compare, but it's not like WWE where you have a match starting, then you get a commercial break, then you come back from commercial break, and then you have a backstage segment or a video package, and then the match starts. No, like the pacing of Dynamite is really, really good. It was a good match, but I had some issues with it. Yeah, definitely, I can see that. It wasn't a perfect match, so to speak. And like I said, me personally, I like the match. I just disagreed with the finish. Kingston should have won. But what did you guys think of tonight's show? Let me know either in the live chat if you're watching this live or in the comment section down below if you're watching the replay of this match. But with that being said, overall good show tonight. And thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuous support. Please help me out and don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or I release a new video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow after Impact, or I hope to see you guys tomorrow after Impact. Bye.